Hi Brooke, I'm going to solve the first one on the worksheet for you, and hopefully you can kind of use that to help you answer the rest of the questions on the worksheet. I'm glad you asked about this because this is a really tough skill. You kind of have to use some information that's not right there in the problem. You have to solve and use some multiple steps in order to get your answer. So the first thing I want to go over is that this is a complex or composite figure. That means that we're going to have to use more than one formula to find the area of the total shape. So I'm going to break this shape into the two shapes that we're going to look at today. So the first is going to be, I'm going to outline it in purple. So we've got this rectangle here that we're going to solve for. And then we've got this rectangle here that we're going to solve for. And I'm going to start with the red rectangle because I think that's going to be the easiest shape to start with. So we're going to multiply to find the area of that rectangle first, which is length times width. So the length is 20 times the width, which is 7. When we multiply 20 times 7, we get 140, and we're going to call that feet squared since we're talking about area. Okay, so that area takes up that the space in that red rectangle that I'm coloring in right now. The blue rectangle gets a little bit more, purple rectangle gets a little bit more complicated. Again, we're going to use the length times width formula. And we have the width, which is 25 feet, but we don't know this length right here. That we're unsure of, that's not labeled, but we can figure it out. So we want to know, well, how long is it from this dot, this corner, to this corner? And we're going to use some information that's already given to us to find that missing length. We know that we look from our whole shape, we know that this whole length is 30 feet. We know that this whole length is 20 feet. So we need to figure out, well, what's the missing length? What's the difference between 20 and 30, since that is where that edge of the rectangle stops? I'm going to highlight it right here. That's where the edge of that 20 feet stops. So what's left over to get from 20 feet to 30 feet? And that would be 10. So the missing length here is 10 feet. Excuse my cat in the background. So that is the length of the purple rectangle. When I multiply 10, the length, times 25, the width, you're going to get 250 feet squared. And then we need to add those two amounts together, 140 plus 250, to get the total 390 feet squared for the total area for number 1. So remember, I know it's a little bit tricky, but pay attention to the information that you're given and what part of the complex or composite figure can you use to find those missing lengths that you need in order to solve. Okay, so hopefully that makes a little bit more sense. If you have more questions, let me know.